So some of the points that we can remember uh, from the mobile hacking module. OS data caching. An OS cache stores used data information in memory on a temporary basis in the hard disk. An attacker can dump this memory by rebooting the victim's device with a malicious OS and extract the sensitive data from the dumped memory. And base band attackers exploit vulnerabilities in a phone's GCM 3GPP baseband processor, which sends and receives radio signals to cell towers. Carrier load software. Pre-installed software or apps on devices may contain vulnerabilities that an attacker can exploit to perform malicious activities such as deleting, modifying, or stealing data on the device, eavesdropping on calls, and so on. User initiated code. User initiated code is an activity that tricks the victim into installing malicious applications or clicking links that allow an attacker to install malicious code to exploit the user's browser cookies and security permissions. SSL strip. SSL strip is a type of MITM attack in which attackers exploit vulnerabilities in the SSL TLS implementation on websites. Vulnerabilities in the SSL/TLS implementation on websites. It relies on the user validating the presence of HTTPS connection. The attack invisibly downgrades connections to HTTP without encryption, which is difficult for users to detect in mobile browser. Fake SSL certificates. Fake SSL certificates represent another type of MITM attack in which an attacker issues a fake SSL certificate to intercept traffic on a supposedly secure HTTPS connection. Platform vulnerabilities. Attackers exploit vulnerabilities in the OS, server software such as IIS, or application modules running on the web server. Sometimes attacker can expose vulnerabilities associated with the protocol or access controls by monitoring the communication established between a mobile device and a web server. Next is data dumping. An attacker causes the database to dump some or all of its data, thereby uncovering sensitive records. Most mobile antivirus tools do not check SMS. This was one of the point I found in the EC Council book. I thought we should remember for exam. Threats associated with SS7 vulnerability. When the attacker gains access to SS7 protocol, the victim's device faces the following risks: exposing the subscriber's identity, revealing the network identity, spying on and intercepting the network to steal personal data, allowing phone tapping, performing DOS attacks to damage the reputation of the target telecom operator, tracking geographic locations. Android Device Administration API. The Device Administration API provides device administration features at the system level. This API allows developers to create security-aware applications that are useful in enterprise settings where IT professionals require strong control over employee devices. It is due to this APIs the attacker or developers can root Android devices remotely. Due to this API, the attacker or developers can create apps that can see hardware settings such as battery level and disk space. Due to this APIs, the attacker developers can create apps that can modify core device settings. The positive thing due to this API is that it allows developers to create security-aware apps that are useful in the enterprise, and it allows to implement all password-related policies. Routing advantages: install applications on an SD card and other normal ones. Routing disadvantages: routing also comes with many security and other risks to your device, including voiding your phone's warranty, poor performance, malware infection, bricking of the device. Bricking your phone essentially means that your once useful device is now only as useful as a brick. A bricked phone is usually unresponsive, won't power on, and doesn't function normally. One can use tools such as Kingo Root, Tunes Go Root, One Click Root, and so on to root Android devices. Hacking Android devices, uh, blocking Wi-Fi access using netcut. This application works effectively only on routed devices. So it blocks the Wi-Fi access on the victim phones. Identify attack surfaces using Droger, and then hacking with Zanti or Zanti. It spoofs MAC address, creates malicious Wi-Fi hotspot to capture victims to control and hijack their device traffic. Scan for open ports, exploit router vulnerabilities, password complexity audits, MITM and DOS attack, view, modify and redirect all HTTP requests and responses, redirect HTTPS to HTTP, redirect HTTP request to a particular IP or web page, insert HTML code into web pages, hijack sessions, view and replace all images that are transmitted over the network, capture and intercept downloads. So these are some of the things that we can do, that an attacker do using Zanti. Hacking with network spoofer. Network spoofer allows you to change websites on other computers via an Android phone. It allows attackers to flip pictures and text upside down, make websites experience gravity, redirect websites to other pages, and delete or replace random words on websites. This is about hacking with network spoofer. And we can also launch DOS attack using low orbit ion cannon, session hijacking using droid sheep. Uh, Hint to remember, both session and sheep starts with S, and remember it as session sheep on droid device. So droid sheep. It uses libcap and ARP spoof and captures session ID. Attackers can later use this session ID, and attacker can access the target web on behalf of the victim. Hacking with RBOT proxy source. RBOT is a proxy app that empowers other apps to use the internet more privately. It uses Tor to encrypt your internal traffic and then hides it by bouncing it through a series of computers around the world. Attackers can use this application to hide their identity while performing attacks or surfing through target web applications. Exploit Android device through ADB using PhoneSploit. Android Debug Bridge is a command line tool that allows attackers to communicate with the target Android device. To use ADB wireless connectivity, you need to enable the daemon server using TCP port 5555 on the target device. This tool acts as a bridge between the attacker's PC and the target Android device. Furthermore, it provides a command window to run the commands directly on the Android device. If the target Android device has the TCP debugging enabled on port 5555, attackers can use tools such as PhoneSploit to perform various malicious activities on the target device, such as screen capture, dumping system info, viewing running applications, port forwarding, installing and uninstalling any application, and turning Wi-Fi on off. So Android, some of the Android-based sniffers face sniff, launching man in the disk attack. We'll see in the next video.